Hey guys, welcome back. So before I download the WordPress itself, I just want to make sure that you guys are all set up for development on your local machine. I am using a MacBook myself, and I will be using Laravel Valet, which is an awesome tool. So I find Valet quite useful when I am quickly playing around with something with any of the PHP projects, and out of the box it just works with a lot of different technologies. It works with Drupal, it works with Bedrock, which again is part of Roots community, Symfony, WordPress, Zen, October CMS, Magento, you name it, and it's really good. Now, alternative to Valet, you can have Homestead, and Homestead is also quite powerful. It's basically a Vagrant setup with a virtual box, and you can have it all set up, right? So if you are using Mac, you will definitely need to come here, the Laravel documentation. However, if you are a Windows user, then I will leave the link in the description for you, and you can follow this tutorial, or you can Google for it, and you should be able to find an up-to-date article, and you can have it all set up. There are other tools as well, of course. One of them, which again is Docker. I love Docker. I use it even at work. We use Docker, and Docker is quite lightweight and is quite good, right? I'm not going to go in much details about the Docker itself, but again, I will leave the link here. Give it a quick read and see if you can set it up. And if you wanted to have anything else, then I would suggest that you could go and download MAMP on your machine. Again, just follow the instructions. There is a paid version, and then there is free version as well available to you. So once you have everything all set up, right, then you can go ahead and download the WordPress itself, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to download the WordPress. Okay, and if I now open the WordPress, so now that WordPress is installed on a machine, I'll just simply go ahead and unzip the folder itself. Great. And now I am going to move the WordPress folder into my development folder where I put all my projects. So I'll move that from my desktop, and it's called WordPress, and I will move that to www. And let's call this Sage, or in fact we'll call it WordPress Sage. Okay, now that's done, so I'll just go into the folder itself, and let's go into the WordPress Sage. Yep, so it's all installed. Great. So now if I go into the browser, WordPress sage.website. By the way, I'm using Laravel Valet, but I have changed the domain name from test to website, which again you can read up on it on the documentation, and you will know how to do it. And there we go. So I'm going to see, yep, English UK, continue. Great, let's go. And I haven't set up the database yet, so let's just go ahead and set up a database. Great, and I will simply open it. So now I can go ahead and specify the name of database. Username is root for me, it's local. Database localhost is fine. Table prefix, I'm sure you know you can change it if you want to. I'll just stick with the default. Run the installation, site title, modern theme, development with Sage. Okay, I'm going to call it admin, and I'm going to use a weak password so I remember, but I would not recommend you. One thing about WordPress is that, you know, the amount of security issues that it had been having, and I'm sure that must have heard it in the press. And one of your quick wins is that you make sure that you always choose the strongest password, but because it is for the local environment, so I don't care really. Okay, and so I will give it an email, and I'll give it codestify@gmail.com. Search engine visibility, it's just a theme really, so I will just discourage it. Okay, you can change the setting later on. Let's see if that runs for us. Yep. Okay, log in. So if I now go ahead, oops, in fact it's not that, and the password was. So now that we have WordPress configured correctly and all set up on our local machine, in the next lesson we will install Sage, and then we will start setting up the environment. Okay, see you all in the next lesson.